So the deranged Democrat Jasmine Crockett is back in the news once again. And for the life of me, I don't quite understand how someone like her has been able to actually get any type of political position, government authority, where people voted for her. She puts on this fake sister girl, I'm from the inner city accent in order to feel like she's relatable.
According to them, the trans kids that want to play the sports, Lord have mercy, that is the biggest issue that we had. Since when? Since when? Find the little trans child that is ruining your life. Like, I mean, I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Baby, because these people, they are crazy. Because they always talk about how Christian they is. Yeah, I don't know how many of them on that side are getting divorced because they getting caught up sleeping with their co-workers, staffers.
How Christian they is. That's Jasmine Crockett, who she's playing a role. That's already been proven. It just looks like she's keeping it real, but it's all just an act. And this is, in my opinion, these are things that have been proven to be fact as far as her actual background. But she plays a role that she knows or she believes enough in that will appeal to black voters. And clearly, to some extent, has worked for her black voters as well as the lunatic liberals who will co-sign on this sort of behavior. And whatever she's doing has got her believing that she actually has a shot at not only running, but winning the Senate seat in the state of Texas.
Data is only one part of the equation. You have to be able to execute. And the state is 30 million people. It's a $100 million race, as well as, you know, we need to be able to take advantage of the fact that the Republicans are fighting right now and they may have to go to a runoff. And we also need to make sure we have what I consider to be a strong slate. People that can also raise money, people that also have kind of different groups of people that are attracted to them. And so it's more so logistical than anything at this point in time. But for sure, we did not stop our evaluation because the evaluation made it clear that the coalition that won on November 4th, black and brown folk, when you look at the numbers in New Jersey, when you look at the numbers in Virginia, it was making sure that black and brown, number one, showed up and voted the right way. I am the leading candidate when it comes to those two specific constituencies. And so it does make it to where I am very formidable, regardless of kind of what people may want to put out into the atmosphere. The numbers are the numbers.
So you still haven't made a decision?
I am closer to yes than I am no. I will tell you that. But regardless of what people think, strategy matters. And execution matters. And there are a lot of people that don't believe in Texas. And so for me, if I am going to tell people that they need to believe in Texas, I need to not only have numbers on a piece of paper, I need to be able to tell them this is exactly how we're going to get there. And part of that equation, for me, again, comes down to what type of ticket, instead of relying on one person to kind of carry the load, what type of ticket. So I've actually been talking to other candidates, potential candidates as well, trying to recruit them.
Yeah, so let's get one thing straight. She has no chance. I mean, she has as much of a chance of winning the state Senate seat in Texas as I do of becoming the next starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. It's not going to happen. And so the reality is it doesn't really matter how well she's doing against other Democrats in the primary, and she may rise up and be the one who comes out of that if she's able to get the support and the backing from the Democrat Party and they greenlight her. But none of that matters, because when it comes to an actual general election, she doesn't have a chance. She has no chance. And so really what she's saying right there with all this talk about data and the numbers is if she can get the support from the Democrat Party and they push her to the forefront, they greenlight her, then that's enough reason for her to feel like she can go ahead and believe that she actually has a shot in this, which she has zero. And listen, there are a lot of reasons why this is all just a fantasy for Jasmine Crockett, but I'm just going to give you guys two basic ones. One, the state of Texas, the entire state, that's not her district. Crockett represents a deep blue, heavily protected district in Dallas. One where she could say whatever she wants, take any position she wants, and still walk away with 70% of the vote and get reelected. But when you talk about statewide, you're talking about a whole different world. Listen, here's the reality. Texas has not elected a Democrat since the mid-90s. And the Democrats who did run were far more moderate, disciplined, and polished than a Jasmine Crockett. If Beto, Allred, or Wendy Davis couldn't crack the code. I highly doubt that Jasmine Crockett is going to be the one to do that. And number two, and this is probably just more obvious, Republicans would absolutely love to run against Jasmine Crockett. If Jasmine Crockett were nominated from the Democrat Party, the GOP would throw a parade. Listen, she'll be the perfect opponent for whoever ends up rising up out of the Republican primary. Her antics energize conservative turnout. She pushes suburban moderates away from Democrats. She'll drive independents straight into the arms of the GOP. And she highlights everything Texans reject about far left politics. And so she's the exact kind of candidate that Republicans pray to face in a general election. And so now I want you guys to listen to this interview right here, because this is one of the main reasons why she has no chance of winning in a general election in the state of Texas. Because the moment you hear her speak and you're not someone who's been completely just brainwashed or just gonna go along with her sister girl, I keep it real act, you realize how idiotic and ignorant she really sounds. And she goes all the way committed to the role. Like, she doesn't ease up one bit. And she continues to do it here on MS Now, formerly MSNBC. Only the name has changed. Everything else remains the same. She gets confronted on her nonsense, which is rare when it comes to the deranged Democrats who show up on that network. But the host actually presses her about the lies she told on the House floor. She accused Republicans of taking money from Jeffrey Epstein while defending Democrats who were actually the ones taking donations. And instead of just owning up to it and being able to move on, put this whole thing behind her, instead of just apologizing and admitting she was wrong, she keeps doubling down on stupid and expects you to take whatever she says as being authentic and true. Take a listen.
Congresswoman, it wouldn't be a conversation with us if I didn't quickly put you on the spot on something. You made a little bit of news last week when you mistakenly accused Lee Zeldin and other Republicans
I didn't
accepting money from Jeffrey Epstein, but it was a different Jeffrey Epstein according to the financial records. Do you want to? I don't want to give you the opportunity to amend that. And
I have no amendments. When I was on the floor, for those that don't know how it works, basically they decided to bring this privilege motion up. And they decided that they wanted to kick Stacey off of her committees because Stacey had received Stacey Plaskett because she had received a donation from Jeffrey Epstein. I had maybe 20 minutes. We researched the FEC, and because I like to speak with specificity, that's kind of what comes with being an attorney. I made clear that there was a Jeffrey Epstein. They knew on the other side that I did not have time to actually pull up and actually research, especially since that particular one that Lee Zeldin got up in an uproar about was specifically out of the New York area. We know that he was out of that area. So, and this obviously was not done post Jeffrey Epstein's life. So I made sure that I said a Jeffrey Epstein.
But you were trying to insinuate that it was the
Oh, I absolutely was insinuating that it could be possible. That is true.
And this is MSNBC, MS Now, whatever they want to call it, where the host is trying to give her a lifeline. Like, yeah, you were trying to insinuate it, but you want to take that back at this point, realizing obviously the misstep. And this is why I say she doubled down on stupid, because she literally says after that, no, I was trying to insinuate that it was that Jeffrey Epstein, the predator, but I made sure to say a Jeffrey Epstein because, I'm a lawyer and I understand specificity. Now, listen, I live in the state of Texas, so I will definitely make sure come next November, I do my part in making sure she is not someone who gets the opportunity to represent the state of Texas if somehow she rises up from the Democrat Party as the nominee. But I don't know how any sane person, and I guess it wouldn't be a sane person, but I don't know how someone could listen to her unless they have the same amount of brain cells that she has, which she's demonstrated not to be that many, could listen to anything that she says and say, yeah, that's the person who I want to represent me in DC. But you know what? Just to be fair, let's go back and listen to what she actually said on the House floor. Take a listen.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly: Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review.
Yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and lead this up here because this is really the only way you could explain what you just heard right there. I mean, she can't even get her story straight. She lied because it wasn't a Jeffrey Epstein that she said. She said it was somebody named Jeffrey Epstein. And so she can't even keep her story straight. That's number one. The only remote part of that entire rant that had any type of consistency was her admitting that her team, whoever, quickly looked into it and this is what they came back with, which as someone who was in Congress, I mean, that's really what you're doing, one, and someone who claims themselves to be this lawyer and deals in specificity, you think that she would be better than that. But then again, I leave you to look at the image on the screen. I mean, but that really tells you the level of intelligence she believes her constituents to have when she says that, yeah, I know that I was trying to insinuate it was the Jeffrey Epstein. Mind you, she was on the House floor defending Stacey Plaskett, who was caught texting the actual Jeffrey Epstein during a congressional hearing. But this is what the deranged Democrats like Jasmine Crockett are doing. Mind you, let's not forget the fact that you had Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries, who was exposed for actually looking for contributions from Jeffrey Epstein, inviting him to dinners where Obama would be there. And so her purpose was to try and connect Republicans to Jeffrey Epstein in any way possible to try and cast a negative light. The only problem that's getting in her way is the fact that with every passing day that had went by with these files coming out, and it's kind of funny how that's kind of, hit the back burner now as far as not really that much news about it anymore, is that, well, all the information that was coming out as far as who was actually in connection with Epstein were Democrats, liberals. That's also a major reason why we probably haven't heard that much of it in the news cycle anymore. Well, it's kind of no fun when you can't connect anybody connected to Trump or any Republicans to Epstein. And so now you see the news has kind of buried that one as if it was yesterday's spoiled milk.
But the point is, I never said that it was that specific one because I did not have the adequate time to do it. And so the Jeffrey Epstein has stepped forward, and that's not like, a normal name. And I think that what would have been problematic is if I would have claimed that, say, that happened and it legitimately never happened. So ultimately, he cleared the record. I have not researched further. I've not talked to this doctor.
But
Jeffrey
you can agree
Epstein.
that Lee Zeldin didn't receive money.
I can agree that Lee
Jeffrey
Zeldin
Epstein
has said that he's not received money from the Jeffrey Epstein. Absolutely.
I mean, to put it bluntly, Jasmine Crockett has made a career of saying a lot of stupid things, and I do mean stupid.
I want to be clear that, law enforcement isn't to prevent crime. Law enforcement solves crime, okay? That is what they're supposed to do. They are supposed to solve crimes, not necessarily prevent them from happening, per se.
And so what she just said right there and the doubling down over and over again, that might take the cake. And this is exactly why you have many Republicans, the moment that they have caught wind that Jasmine Crockett is reportedly considering running for the U.S. Senate in Texas in 2026. Listen, you have Republicans out there who are putting it out there that they will donate to her campaign and make sure that she runs because they know exactly what they're getting in a candidate by going against her.
I tell you, the Democrat Party have lost their way. They're bringing in a bunch of nut jobs. We got Jasmine Crockett. I said, put her in the triangle and give her time every day. I'll give her money so she can do a press conference every day because that's a Looney Tune. She's nuts. And it only helps us. It really, really does. She's nuts. Matter of fact, Jasmine Crockett, if you listen, I need you to run for Senate. I need you to run for Senate in the state of Texas in 2026 because you are an absolute nut job. And I may send you $500. I may send you $500 so you can help with your filing fee because Ken Paxton will crush you. Ken Paxton's going to crush you.
I mean, Ken Paxton, Wesley Hunt, John Corman. I don't care who it is. Quite honestly, I think anybody from the Republican side will defeat her in an open election as far as things go for the state of Texas. If someone like Jasmine Crockett was able to win the state of Texas, I will lose all faith in the American people when it comes to the voting process. And we would be absolutely doomed. But guys, questions, comments, thoughts, feedback, drop them down below. I appreciate when you guys chime in. As always, best way you can show your support is by smashing that thumbs up. That tells me you like the video. and subscribe for more breakdowns like this.